According to Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, the deep state does not exist. There is no deep state that will steal your votes during an election. And the Deputy President has emphasized to us, about 3 weeks ago in Turkana, that if there were a deep state, he would know. Why? Because he's the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, to be very honest with you, the deep mystery for me over these remarks is the fact that people have not challenged it. You, dear supporters and supporters of the Deputy President, have of course accepted it as the gospel truth. The Deputy President said it, and therefore it is 100% true. Now, the reason why others have not accepted it may be because they are sure it is not true. Those remarks were not factual. And so maybe people chose just to ignore. Sometimes somebody can come up and tell you such blatant lies that you choose not to waste your energy arguing with them, and you decide just to keep quiet. Maybe that is what's happening. On my show today, I'm going to break down this deep state manenos, which has confused many people. Even when taking in talk shows on television, you realize that many of the journalists asking questions have no idea what a deep state is. And so, in my opinion, this is an excellent opportunity to make this very clear so that we all understand what animal this is. But let us first of all start with the actual remarks of the Deputy President. We don't want anybody coming here and accusing us of putting words in the mouth of our Deputy President. So let's hear precisely what he said. I'll be back in a minute.
Tafuta vizingizio, unajua ni kwa sababu ya system, ni kwa sababu ya deep state. There is nothing like that. And I'm saying that I am the Deputy President of Kenya. I know if there was a deep state, I would tell you there is a deep state or a system that can steal anybody's vote. It is not there. Mnanisikia? It is not there. So, kura ya William Ruto haiwezi kuibiwa because nobody's vote has ever been stolen. Hii mnaambiwa ati kura ya fulani ilibiwa, kura ya fulani ilibiwa, ni just excuses ya somebody who has lost an election. So, your story ni story ya bure. In fact, today, very interestingly, I was in Kisii in a meeting in a small town called Kegogi. And when I was leaving the meeting, somebody told me, "We Hasla, please, chunga tu hii watu wasikuibie hii kura. Sisi tuko tayari." And I realized that this propaganda has gotten to the villages that, we are going to win, but these people are going to rig, they are going to steal. Good people. Nobody will steal anybody's vote. It's not possible. Me, I have said, even if my competitor's brother was a chairman of IEBC, I would not care less.
Now, of course, the expected reaction from many Kenyans who saw what happened in 2017 would be anger. The Deputy President said elections are never stolen. Nobody can steal anybody's votes. So, why are the 2017 presidential election results still stuck in a server somewhere in France, if it is not possible to steal people's votes? Why must those election results remain secret to this day, even as we head to the next general elections? Why? Why did we witness the comedy of clowns at the Supreme Court? Yep, that's what I call it. And if you review those videos, they're here on YouTube, of how lawyers were stammering and confusing themselves when asked very simple questions. by the Supreme Court judges. Why were those lawyers stumbling over themselves, failing to answer simple questions? If it is not possible to steal an election, if an election was not indeed stolen in 2017. Anyway, this animal, the deep state. Now, I'm going to repeat a very simple example I've given before, which I believe will help, and indeed has already helped many people completely grasp what a deep state is. Because a deep state exists anywhere where there's a center of power. Not just in Kenya, globally. And this example I gave is from real life here in Kenya. It's not fiction. This man lived happily with his wife. There was no problem. It was a happy marriage. And then one day, the circumstances of this Kenyan man changed. He suddenly had a lot of money. And his wife was suddenly visited by her mother and her sister. And shortly after that visit, everything went wrong in this marriage. The poor man's mother-in-law and sister-in-law put ideas into the mind of his wife that changed everything, changed their relationship, and everything ended up in chaos where the two were about to divorce, which is precisely what the deep state in this family wanted. Why? Because they had an idea in their mind that once the couple divorces, this man's fortune is going to be divided into half. And then they're going to get easy access to the money. His wife's mother and his wife's sister. Before I heard this story, or rather before I came across this real life drama, I did not believe that it was possible for somebody's mother to be so selfish that they put their own personal interests ahead of the interests and well-being of their own biological daughter, a child they carried in their womb for 9 months. I did not believe that was possible. But as the wise Waswahili elders tell us, dunia iko na mambo. Now, in my opinion, this is an excellent example of a deep state, because there are times, not all the time, there are times when a deep state can do things successfully without the knowledge of the president. Oh yes. During the presidency of Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, the second president of Kenya, there was a woman who grew to be very close to the president. Her name is Marian Brainer, a Swiss national. Kenyans got to hear about her for the first time when she came to testify in the Parliamentary Select Committee that was put together to investigate the murder of the former Foreign Affairs Minister, Dr. Robert John Ouko. Older Kenyans will remember the Gor Sungu Committee during the Kibaki administration. Now, long before Kenyans got to hear about this woman, the deep state in Kenya deported Marian Brainer without the knowledge of the president. Now, I want us to digest that properly. If this decision had come before the president, Moi would never have deported this woman. There was no reason to. But because some very powerful people within Moi's deep state saw this woman as a threat to their authority and their power within Moi's administration. They went behind the back of the president, the all-powerful Kenyan president, under the old constitution, where the president was so powerful that he could wake up in the morning and appoint Kumekucha Chris Chief Justice. And Kumekucha Chris has got no formal legal training, and that decision would stand. Moi actually appointed a lot of people who had absolutely zero qualifications into various posts, and it stood. Now that all-powerful president was powerless in the hands of the deep state. Let us appreciate that. And so, this is my point here. You can be the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and yet you don't have a clue. Because you attend cabinet meetings, and you deliberate, and you make decisions, and you all agree, and the meeting ends, and you leave State House, get into a vehicle, and drive to the Deputy President's residence. And meanwhile, over a cup of coffee in the kitchen, the President has a discussion with the deep state. And the decision you all agreed on, the cabinet meeting, is reversed. And that is the real decision that stands. And you as the Deputy President or as a cabinet secretary, wait for that decision to be put into effect, and nothing happens. And you try and follow up, and you're told that decision has been delayed. This and that has gone wrong. This and that is holding up everything. Don't worry, it will be implemented. And the years pass, and that president finishes their term, and that cabinet decision you made, all of you, is never implemented. What stands is the decision made by the kitchen cabinet, the deep state, after you left. That is a reality of politics. Now, the Deputy President also says his votes can never be stolen. And I agree. For the simple reason that for your votes to be stolen, you must have more votes than the person who is going to steal those votes from you. I mean, you can't steal something from somebody that they don't have. And so, the Deputy President must first get the votes, more votes than Raila Odinga, more votes than any other presidential candidate, and then we can start talking about votes being stolen. That is the political reality. And by having more votes, I'm not talking about the votes on Twitter. Although those ones have already been stolen, via fake accounts purchased from India. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend the set of videos I did. You'll find a link in the description area below on how this is done, or how this has been done in Kenya, and fooled many Kenyans about the popularity of certain presidential candidates. I even have reason to believe that these fake accounts have impacted on the opinion polls that we have been seeing, that have been telling us that the Deputy President is the most popular presidential candidate in Kenya today. Well, things on the ground are telling me the opposite. And you need to take in my other video. I'll put also a link in the description area below that I'll do after this one. As soon as that video is ready, the link will appear below. And this particular analysis proves how the Deputy President still has a long way to go in terms of votes. And let me emphasize, I'm not against anybody. I'm just making an honest analysis. Prove me wrong with facts. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.